So we're going to get back to Saul in the cave and, that little nugget. But do you remember when King Saul's trying to put his spear through David's face? David grabs his guitar and goes running. Well, it wasn't really a guitar. It was actually a harp, but guitar sounds cooler, so we're going to say guitar. Well, David went running, and while he's running, he actually wrote a bunch of songs. And those songs ended up in a book in the Bible called Psalms. I want to read one of those Psalms that David wrote. It goes like this. David said, "Some trust in chariots, and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God." That reminds me of what David said before he dropped Goliath to the ground. He said, this battle belongs to God. David's trying to show us that when something bad happens, or when you feel kind of small, or something seems like kind of a big deal, you don't have to be scared or afraid or feel small, because it wasn't your size or your strength or your skills or your math smarts or your Air Jordans or cute hair or chariots or anything like that that mattered. Some people trust in that stuff, David said, but we will trust in the name of the Lord. So back to Saul in the cave. Saul goes into the cave to, relieve himself. And he must have been really concentrating, because he doesn't know that David is already in the cave. And David sneaks up behind him, pulls out a knife, this stuff's in the Bible, and cuts off a piece of his coat. David could have become king right then and there just by killing Saul, but he didn't, because David knew that when he was small, it was God who picked him to be king. And he knew that one day after Saul, it would be God who would make him king. He didn't have to take it into his own hands. What's something that you can trust God with? What's something that's making you feel small that you can give to God? Can I tell you something? You are my giant. I've been really nervous about talking to you. And a couple days ago, I FaceTimed my nephew, who's about your age, and I said, "Judah, tell me what I should say to these people." He actually told me something pretty good. I wrote it down. He said, "I'd tell them that God will help you through rough situations. He will help you to find a way, even if it's not the way you thought of before." That's pretty good, Judah. Just like that time I somehow made the middle school basketball team, because God plus anyone is enough.